guys, and welcome to Odds on Euro. We are going to analyze the third match day of Group B with Tom Rennie. How are you, Tom?
Very much looking forward to previewing Group B with you. That's how I am. I'm pumped. Let's get our Group B on.
Yeah, that's great then. And with everyone who wants to comment in this video, they will have the chance to win a £10 free bet. With Novibet, of course, ask any question to Tom. He knows a lot about Finland, about Russia, about every single team in this Euro. And if you enjoy our videos, click on the like button, subscribe to our channel, and click on the bell to get all the notifications. So, Tom, actually, taking a look at the group, I think it's very likely to find three teams with 3 points at the end of this match day. But you will tell me in a bit. I don't know if you agree with me.
There are many outcomes here. There are many outcomes, and it's amazing, really, for Denmark, considering everything that's happened to them to this point. Well documented, Christian Eriksen, the way they lost those games, all of that. They go into this game with no points, with a -2 goal difference, and they can still qualify for the next round. You know, there are lots of negatives, I think, to the fact that third-place teams are getting through. They've expanded the Euros so you can be basically rubbish and still get out of your group. But maybe this is a positive story of it, because they've gone from a dead rubber team, no chance of getting through, to they might have a chance here. So this is actually one positive for the new format, for the expanded format, that Denmark are still in the mix going into the next games.
Second chances in life are always good, Tom, and Denmark can have a second or a third chance. But let's start analyzing the other game. Finland-Belgium is the strongest team of the group against the weakest team of the group, at least when the draw was done. Right now, of course, we all know that Finland, they got 3 points after that victory against Denmark in that weird game because of the Eriksen incident. But in their second game, they lost to Russia, whereas Belgium, in my opinion, they are still impressive, especially Kevin De Bruyne. He can be one of the players of this tournament. Hazard, the brother, Torsten, scored a goal, but the other brother, Eden, actually is giving assists, something that we haven't seen him doing it with Real Madrid. 9 assists for Eden Hazard since World Cup 2014 in major tournaments for Belgium. That's a lot, actually. And we check the odds, and I'm not surprised here to see Belgium that favorite, odds 1.37.
Yeah, no surprise. Belgium, massive favourites. For many people, they've been the first, second, third favourite to win the entire competition. So no surprise that they're favourites to win this one against Finland. Look, the performances that they put in so far, very competent, very professional, very much like a side at the peak of what they're going to be able to do, right? It's a conversation we've had about Belgium for a few years. Is this golden generation going to deliver when it matters most? In the World Cup, didn't quite work out for them. Those players are a few years on, 3 years on, and they're at their absolute peak. Lukaku's off the best season he has ever had domestically. Kevin De Bruyne has been injured a decent amount, but still managed to have a sensational season as City went on to win the Premier League. And there are several others. Eden Hazard poor, but Torgan Hazard fantastic. They're going to make changes here, Belgium, because they have that luxury with the 6 points. They are definitively going to get through. But those changes are De Bruyne gets a start, because he's been obviously coming back from that horrible injury he got in the Champions League final. So he's the man who's going to get on for some fitness. Eden Hazard's going to start. And Axel Witsel, who is so important to this Belgium team, another man who's not been fit enough, he's going to start in this game as well. So their replacements are better than the first team. And the first team have topped the group on 6 points. So bad luck, Finland. But you're in big trouble here, big trouble. I think that Belgium are still going to win. They're going to win this handsomely as well, considering the changes they can make. The only issue for me in terms of putting a bet on this game is how much Belgium go for it. Because if you look at some of the scores, you know, they're 3-10 to win this game. So it's not really worth just betting Belgium to win, because they're going to win. You can bet big on it if you want to, but it's not the kind of bet that I like. I'd be looking for an over score line here. There is a risk. There is a risk because of how many changes they're going to make. But I mentioned to you already the players that are coming in. If you're looking at over 2.5, over 3.5, you could probably get 14s to 16 to 1 for Belgium to win 4-0. Now, that's a risky one, I know, but this Belgian team are significantly better. And they might want to lay a marker here. They might want to win in style. They might think other nations are watching. And that's what I would want to do if I was Roberto Martinez. This is likely to be his final tournament because so many domestic clubs want him. He might stay on for the World Cup, but it's his last year and a half in charge of Belgium, and this may be his best chance to win. You've got a better chance of winning the European Championships than you do the World Cup for obvious reasons, the other teams that are in it, and this team look like they're approaching the peak of their powers in terms of their age and experience. The defence might be a little bit old now, the Alderweireld Vertonghen, but still, they look very, very good, and so I expect them to win this game. I expect them to win in style with some panache. I expect a good performance from Kevin De Bruyne, and I'd be looking at the over 2.5, over 3.5 market here. As for Finland, you mentioned the little grouping of teams that they are in, trying to get out of Group B. They sit third at the moment. The goal difference swing as well favours them, so they'll be trying, I think, to keep the scoreline down. I think they'll foul in that task, but I think that's what they'll go into this game to do. Defend. I think the centre half, the captain Tim Sparv, is going to come back in order to try and give them a bit of defensive midfielder who sit in front of that. They might go 3 at the back. I expect 7 at the back, to be honest, from Finland in this game, and I expect them to try and hold on. And with a -2 swing in terms of Denmark are on -2, Denmark got to win by a couple of goals, and Finland are not going to get beaten massively for them to get through. So they'll try and keep the score down. They won't achieve it, sadly. And I think Finland will finish bottom of this group and Belgium will win.
Okay, we check now and we saw how, if we fancy, for instance, Belgium to win 4-0, the odds are 17.5 for this scoreline. If we check Belgium Asian handicap -2, for instance, we have odds 3.2. That means that they have to win for a 3-goal difference to win our bet, and maybe also we can check to win 2-0 because Finland, well, they are not very prolific, let's say, in attack, and we have odds of 1.95 for Belgium to win 2-0. Everything leads us to a win, to a Belgium win, and finally, also, you expect many goals here, you said. Let's check then the goals market, and going over 3, we find odds, let me check, we have odds at 2.88. Odds for over 2.5 goals are 2.05. So it's not bad. Actually, the bookies expect under goals in this game. So if we go for over, we will find better value. And Tom, one other thing about Belgium that in my opinion is important, because against Russia, they were cruising. It was a very easy game. They scored soon and everything was easy peasy for them. But against Denmark, they were playing in Copenhagen. They were playing as a visitor. They conceded a goal. There was a huge mistake of Denayer, and they showed the character to come back. And this is also very important for a team that wants to be champion, this character to bounce back and to face difficult situations that they face at the Parken Stadium.
Yeah, I think what's interesting about the group stage is, on the whole, for all the nations that quite fancy the chances of winning this, and there's about 7 or 8, I think, that really think they can win it, and Belgium are in that group, is that no one has really gone out full pelt so far, which is why I quite fancy Belgium to do that in this game with the players that are coming back in. Because I think everyone's managing the group stages, because, as I mentioned, it's been set up so almost everybody is going to get out of their group. You know, it's more difficult to be eliminated here than it is to get through. And so I think that a lot of teams have kind of just taken their foot off the gas slightly. And I think that's what happened in Belgium's second game. Then they were like, well, actually, shall we try our hardest for 10 minutes? Get Kevin. Have we got Kevin? Yeah, get Kevin on. And then we got what we got is them turning the result round and winning. And that was not easy in Copenhagen with all the Eriksen stuff, and Denmark playing so brilliantly in the first half in that game. So I think what you saw was a side trying to manage their way through the group, and the fact they've got 6 points from 2 games, plus 4 goal difference. They've got a chance to bring everyone back to a bit of fitness in this game. I think they've managed the group perfectly to this point. And I think that that's what opens itself up to the freedom that I'm hoping they're going to show in this game, as opposed to the conservatism that maybe we were seeing to this point. Someone's going to do it. Why not Belgium against Finland?
Then let's move on to the other game, Russia-Denmark. Here is a must win for Denmark. You said before they still have the chance to qualify, even if they lost the first 2 games. Luckily for them, they only lost these 2 games for 1 goal difference. So still, if they get a good victory against Russia, it's very easy that they can qualify even as a second of the group. If Belgium beats Finland, it's very complicated, this group, actually, with the results. Whereas Russia, for them, also the goal difference is not good, because it's true, they beat Finland. Miranchuk scored that goal, but they were defeated 3-0 with Belgium. And in my opinion, probably this is, well, Russia is not being great. We have to say that. So I can actually expect Denmark to bounce back and finally get a victory in this Euro.
I actually think this game might be one of the hardest to predict of all the games in this third round, because you've got the Denmark situation. They are, as you'd imagine, front page and back page news in Denmark right now. They are being loved by their national press, and that is not easy. This is really a time where the national press usually start putting the boot into their teams for no points from 2 games in the European Championships. For obvious reasons, they are being praised to the hilt, and they should be, because it was very tough for them to have played any of the Finland game, the second half, and of course the game against Belgium as well. But one note is that it's in Copenhagen, right? So we're back in Copenhagen for this game, and it's been a bit weird how the home team is being billed as Russia, and Denmark will be in their away kits, even though they're at home. Oh, I hate this tournament so much, the format of this tournament. Just pick a country, just pick one country and do it properly next time, guys. But it's in Copenhagen. I was chatting to a friend of mine who was out there a couple of days ago, and he said last week the heat was unbearable, sweltering, all-consuming in the game against Belgium. This is Europe, and so now it's thunderstorms, it's windy, it's rainy, it's horrible. And that might give us a more entertaining end-to-end sort of match than we saw in the second half against Belgium, where Denmark visibly wilted in the heat as Kevin De Bruyne come on and changed the game. To the game, there's a great quote from Josef Poulsen, the Denmark attacker, who said this, and I love it when players do this. Whether he did this on purpose, I don't know. He said, if we don't beat Russia, we don't deserve to be in the playoffs, and we don't deserve to get through. And look, it's true, right? I mean, some Russian supporters and players, they might have the ump with that, and that's absolutely fine. I hope it motivates you, but this is a poor Russia side. It's a poor Russia side and has been a poor Russia side for a long, long time. I actually think they were quite good against Finland in that second half, in terms of Finland wanted to get back in the game. They opened themselves up to Russia. Miranchuk scored, as you mentioned, but they had chance after chance. There was a Golovin effort that went close, and they could have scored 2, 3, or 4 in that game. So that's why this game is quite tough to predict, because what sort of Denmark are we going to get? What sort of Russia are we going to get? I think Denmark will be the aggressors in the first half. I do think they will be the aggressors. If they fail to score, then I quite fancy Russia to nick something in this game. A draw does neither team a great deal of good. They've both got to go out to try and win it, because they could all finish bottom of the group. They could all finish second or third in this group, this little pack of teams. And so it's quite interesting. In terms of the markets, it's tough to pick a favourite out. I think Denmark have the slight edge in terms of the bookies, but there's some interesting money on Russia. And I'm sort of drawn in by the attacking threat they had against Finland, because if Denmark play to their full potential, they will win, right? Denmark have better players. Denmark are at home, but a 1-0 win isn't going to be good enough for Denmark with the goal difference, because they don't want to rely on Belgium beating Finland. You've got to win games, right? So they're going to need to score a couple of goals here. They want to get 2-3 up, which means they've got to play a quite open, aggressive way, and that opens itself up to a Russia counter. Russia to win 1-0, you can get around 10-1. 10-1, 12-1, that sort of market. 2-0 Russia, which is 1 breakaway goal and 1 goal in the 95th minute to break Danish hearts, is around 25s. Now that tantalizes me. I like that bet. I like that possibility because of the way Denmark have got to play and the type of players that Russia have got. They've got pace. They will sit deep. They will low block. They'll have 6 at the back, and then suddenly they can break. And so look for a Russia sneaky win here, is my tip.
Sneaky. We can get odds of 34.0 for a exact score. Russia to win 2-0. If you go for under 2.5 goals, like Govinda is suggesting us, odds are 1.85. And if we want to be a little bit more cautious, but going with Russia, double chance for Russia pays 2.3. So all these are good odds. And actually, Tom, we just saw, for instance, Starkey was one of the black horses for many people in this tournament, and they ended up going home with absolutely 0 points. Could be the same exact thing as per Denmark, although probably no one would blame the Danish after what happened with Eriksen, because the whole tournament is in the wrong foot for them.
Yeah, look, Denmark are still favourites here, right? And if you're going to be smart, you would just put a small amount on Denmark to win. But there are some good odds on Russia, and I don't think they're as bad as maybe we think they are, because the Finland performance showed they can attack. I don't think they're amazing, but it just draws me in. I'm just drawn in by those odds. And the fact they've gone up to 30 plus now. You know, how many times have you seen a rubbish team sit deep, hit them on the break pass and win? And there is some good quality going forward for Russia. I don't know. I just like it. It tantalizes me. It draws me in. But yeah, Denmark, if they were to finish this tournament with no points, it would be a massive shame. But I'm not sure it's going to be a big thing. You know, I think everyone realizes everything they've gone through. I'm quite surprised they're still playing on. It's a testament to their character that they're going to be playing this game, and they've played the games they have. And, you know, if it were me, I think I wouldn't be that disappointed with. It's a real shame. I need a holiday now. Someone get me the wife. We're going to the beach. Thanks, everybody. You know, I think that would probably be the best thing for some of these Russian players. Denmark players, sorry.
Okay, and then Tom is trusting a lot Russia. Then thank you, Tom. This is everything for Group B. People are asking us about Austria-Ukraine. We already talked about that game that we are going to see in a few hours. Also about Finland-Belgium. So, I mean, we've previewed basically all the games in this Euro.
So, what do you want? We can make up some games if you want.
Exactly. Everything that is going to be played, we have a video for it. You can check it in our channel. Then, Tom, thanks again for commenting, for tipping for us the Euro, and thanks everyone also for commenting. Remember that you have a chance to win a £10 free bet with Novibet, and if you like our videos, press the like button, subscribe to our channel, and of course click on the bell to get notifications so you know when we talk with Tom Rennie about football. Then, Tom, thank you and enjoy the Euro.